there's a big talk about, is all agent, use going to go away or significantly go away because of the advent of generative AI and all the additional iterations of AI. So from your perspective, where are you seeing AI being adopted today? Where do you see it in the near future? And, is it all hype? Is it not fully baked yet? Or is everything just ready to rock and roll and the whole paradigm's going to shift?
Yeah. I think this one is a little different than other trends that we've seen like this, but I think the framework to analyze it is similar. So I'll give two examples of the way we're kind of thinking about it. So the first is everybody loves to talk about kind of what falls out of in agent handling, like what's going to move to automated. And for those watching this that have been around long enough, like there was a time when IVR was that threat, and then there was a time when online access was that threat. So like there's a ton of focus on kind of what's going to get automated and how much, the way we refer to it, is going to fall out of the bottom of the funnel. But there is rarely as much talk about what's moving into the top of the funnel, which we've seen over and over. In this phrase I'm using, top of the funnel, like moving from what traditionally was face-to-face to now being an inside or a contact center role. So when I grew up, there was a mortgage person in every city and there was an insurance person in every city. And largely those industries are now looking a lot like contact center jobs. So we think that is just always going to be a function. So there's always going to be something that continues to get automated, and there's going to be always something that's a little more sophisticated. So the net volume is going to stay similar and just continue to get more and more complicated for people to handle. And we think over the last 5 years, that's largely been the case. So I think AI is going to do a lot of that same stuff. I think the straightforward, kind of simple, rudimentary things a lot of people are already automating. The problem with that, and the other framework that we look at, is it's just an accelerator of the policies you have in place. So if you have customer-friendly policies, you can cancel with no harm done, or you can reschedule simply. Like, to technically implement that is fairly easy and presents a pretty good experience. But if you have bad customer policies and you try to automate them, it isn't that technically you can't do it. It's that the customer's still upset and they are still going to want to talk to somebody about, how do I resolve my issue? Not technically, but how do I get the result that I want? So the question that I see most people struggling with is the underlying technology systems to deliver what the customer actually needs, not just the tool that sits on top of it. So whether it's the knowledge base, the knowledge base isn't just your frequently asked questions. Like, it's the product of the last 1,000 hours of calls, right? What are people asking? What's the language that gave the highest customer satisfaction response? And then how do you automate and streamline that? Great AI version. But if you can't access the data, or if it's in two different places, or if you don't have a policy that allows it to actually be delivered to the customer, it's going to be a lot of people spending a lot of money for things that ultimately don't accomplish the goal, which is you may get that transaction completed faster, but you didn't save a customer, upsell them, increase lifetime value. So I think it is real. I think the technology is real, but I think the challenges are the ones that we've always had, which is data security is more important than ever. Customer contracts and how you're managing that data security is tighter than ever. What system you give access to any of that stuff has to go through a dozen different people, whether it's your customer or your internal organization or the 3 other organizations that you're partnering with. And I'm not hearing as much talk about how people are solving the infrastructure problems as I am kind of the technology that sits on top of it. So that's the thing that I worry about, is that we're going to end up spending a whole bunch of time evaluating the technology and not ultimately solving the thing that sat underneath it that will enable some really incredible technology to solve business problems. But it just doesn't feel as ready as the narrative.